Well, coming up now, right back in the studio, we have got another fantastic guest. It's young Nick Westerman here, Head of Strategic Partner for Events for the NHS Confed. Nick, welcome to the studio.
Good morning, lovely to see you.
And you? How are we doing this fine morning on day number 2?
Yeah, very well indeed. It's slightly quieter this morning, which is actually quite refreshing, but it's a brilliant second day of the event so far.
Well, let's touch back to day one. How was day one for you? Because I say it felt I go to a lot of expos and everyone says there's a buzz in the room, but actually there was a buzz in the room. Wherever I went, the stages were packed, the exhibition stands were packed. From my point of view, how did you find day number 1?
I think day one was stunning, actually. Buzz is certainly the word that everyone's using. It was a very happy event. Lots of laughing people, lots of smiling people. I think it's generally very, very happy show. And so it's wonderful to see so many people from across health and care here really wanting to engage and enjoy what we put on for them.
And we've seen the outcome. And so we've just seen the fantastic highlights video, day number 1. And so we're hoping for more amazing sort of moments and experiences for day number 2. But it isn't just about today and yesterday. This doesn't happen overnight, does it? Let's say. Tell us what it's like pulling together an event like this.
An event like this is a lot of work. It's a huge amount of work, and it's there's hours and hours and hours of prep that go into it. It's days, months, but it's also a huge team of people that come together to deliver it, both logistically, kind of in the back office, doing all that kind of stuff, but also in terms of the number of suppliers that are on site. I think on Monday, during the build time, we had maybe 600 people, contractors here, tradesmen. I liken it to DIY SOS, the big build. It feels like, there's a team of house builders here constructing absolutely every possible thing. And that's just in the exhibition. We had stuff going on across the rest of the site too. We had minus 45 dB bring in their team for all those sound-reduced pods or rooms that we've freshly built on site. It's huge. It's huge. Can't lie, a little bit tired, but that's
a few late
production
nights
101, isn't it?
Early mornings. Because let's say you do come to Manchester Central, and it is literally a shell, isn't it? Like when you get here, it's a massive space when you arrive, and now there's just so much going on. Because it's not even just because we're in the main hall, the studio's in the main hall. We've got so many other rooms as well. Like what's going on elsewhere? Because I haven't even, obviously we've got the main auditorium going on. What else is going on around and about in other areas?
Well, so we've got 2 main stages here, which have been built by my delightful friends over at Sterling. So I'm just very conscious that my stripy socks are on show.
So, like Peter Jones. Peter
Jones,
you've got Peter Jones
I have
socks
to say, I did think about that this morning. I was
be proud of
how
him.
am I going to rock my blue suit today? And that's going to be a Peter Jones style stripy socks.
There we go.
So we've got 2 main stages, which are built by the wonderful Sterling. They look absolutely stunning. Like the kind of brightness, vibrancy, I think actually kind of complements the innovative nature of the NHS and what we're trying to showcase here. And it all feels like very future-focused, futuristic looking. We've got these sound-reduced rooms that are also in the room with the exchange halls. We've got these huge, 10 metre by 10 metre, purpose-built spaces. The crew that were building that, my word, they worked hard to build them. We're the very first people to be using them in the UK.
Okay, wow.
The wonderful people of minus 45 dB, Thorns, they've built this product that was a concept until quite recently. And having that here on site has been quite extraordinary.
So what is it? Well, just tell us a bit more about the sort of purpose of it.
So they're effectively just giant black boxes.
Okay.
But they're put together in such a way that they block out sound from the outside. So it's like you've actually got, a fully dedicated space away from, just having a shell scheme put together to quickly create a temporary space. It feels like it's a more permanent structure. They're quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
They really are quite extraordinary. But anyway, moving past them, we've got the networking space out in the gallery. We've got some beautiful Nook pods out there, which are supporting all the meetings that are going on out there, and allowing people to have a little bit of time away, perhaps from the conference, being able to engage with work, be able to step back from the conference a little bit, maybe look after their mental health a little bit, because they are intended also to support people with neurodiverse challenges. And then, as I say, we've got this enormous 10,000 square metre exhibition, which is very, very buzzy.
It very much is. And I know we touched on, obviously, new innovations with the pods. Anything else new for 2024? Because I've just spoken to Victor and he said last year's show was brilliant, but he said it feels like it's stepped up like the level again this year.
Absolutely.
You're very much on innovation. Tell us about other new things you brought in for this year and why.
I mean, part of it is this, the absolutely fantastic speaker studio. Being able to support our live stream by having interviews like this, conversations like this, is new for this year. We've also got a podcast studio here on site, which is a bit of a trial for us this year. Try and do content in a slightly different format. It's been really, really well received so far.
Okay.
We've gone for a little bit of like a living room vibe, try and make it feel quite intimate, but it's gone down very, very well so far.
Brilliant. And why was it this year that you thought we're going to start bringing in these conversations as such? Why now?
I think it's about always wanting to do more and do better. Like, it's very easy to rinse and repeat in the world of exhibitions, in the world of conferences. But if we're going to set this apart as, the conference to be at for the NHS, the conference to be at for health and care, then you can't just stay still. And so absolutely making sure that we continue to introduce new things, new stages, new ideas, mean that the delegates are going to want to keep on coming back, and hopefully future years of this conference will keep on pushing further. But I think that probably means more sleepless nights.
Absolutely, more creative thinking, more sleepless nights.
Absolutely.
But I think it's worth it. What's been your experience of it? Have you had any feedback or any sort of highlights from people and delegates as you've been going around and experiencing the show yesterday?
And the highlight so far would be coming in yesterday morning, seeing the seamless nature of our registration coming in. We had 4,998 people here on site yesterday, which is quite a marked improvement on last year.
Okay.
We were kind of around 4,200, something like that last year. So it's great to have even more people
quite
here on site.
Quite a big jump up then.
I think there's so many little things that have happened too, like really, really subtle details that most people don't even know are there, but the feedback that then is associated with them makes a huge difference. So, for example, we've got a space on one of our stands where we've very consciously built some space for a particular delegate who has additional needs, and we've made sure that before they were even on site, we had met those needs at a minimum level and then gone quite far past them. And we've got a card in the organiser office this morning just to say thank you for making sure that I've been looked after, but actually thank you for ensuring I've been seen, and that's really, really touching.
That is nice, because I work with a lot of event organisers, and they sort of plan what they're going to do, and then it's like, oh, then we have to think about inclusivity, then we have to think about accessibility, whereas I would imagine, obviously, an event like this, it's the other way around. We think about
absolutely.
How can we, include everyone, make sure it's accessible, and then you build it from there. Was that your strategy?
Very much so. I mean, accessibility is really hard to do really well, and I think we're, being part of the NHS, held to a very, very high standard on that, which is quite right too. So, for example, we've got captions available in every single theatre. We've got a very specific type of captions available for our live stream in the Exchange Hall, in the Exchange Auditorium, provided by a company called Speaksy. It's a bit of a trial for us this year to do the captions in that particular way, but so far it's been absolutely fantastic. That's our minimum level, and then we actually look at the venue as a whole. How can we make sure that every single bit is wheelchair accessible? How can we make sure that we have ample signage? How do we make sure that everyone is catered for in whatever format they need it to be?
Okay, and in terms of the show, obviously we said it's accessible. We've got a lot of great things going on, but if people are watching from home, maybe new to the industry, or they've just never come to this event before, what are they going to come from it? If they can make it today, fantastic, but potentially next year and beyond, if they're considering coming, what are they going to take away from it? What are the sort of highlights? What are the benefits? What are they going to experience in future years?
I think they need to leave here feeling inspired. This is 2 shows in one, effectively. There is a huge exhibition, and that feels like a place that's like driving innovation, driving technology, talking about some of the most amazing things within the industry. But then we've got this gigantic conference, and I think the majority of delegates here are here for that content piece. And we have, I think it's 150 plus sessions that take place across the 2 days. It's a jam-packed agenda, but people are voting with their feet. Every single room that I've walked past has been completely full. We're getting complaints that it's not actually possible to get into a room. I feel like that's actually a really good complaint to receive, because it means that we've got the right content going on here, and it means that people are saying, you know what, I want more of that.
Yeah. And I do, like, say, when I was walking around yesterday, I did look at every stage. Like, the seats are full, there's a crowd around the edge, and everyone I've spoken to has had something they want to go to. It's like, oh, I'm really looking forward to this, I'm really looking forward to this. So it does sound like the content is spot on.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think also in terms of, you know, where different people are at different stages in their career, whether they're new to the NHS, whether they want to transition from one niche into another, different sectors, like, this is the place to network as well. Because I think the exhibitors, like you say, there's such a diverse range of people.
Yeah.
Like, how would you... Yeah, is it for literally everyone across the board? I kind of feel like it is covered, but what are your thoughts on that?
It is. I mean, everyone has their different reasons for wanting to attend an event like this. We certainly trying to pitch it at kind of managerial level and above, because it's a more operationally focused conference. It isn't a medical focused conference, but there is definitely something for everyone here.
Fantastic. And just give us a bit of an overview of the NHS and the Confederation as a whole. How is it from your perspective at the moment? Is it growing? Is it becoming more popular? Or tell us about the sort of state of the industry, if you like, from your perspective.
I mean, sadly, I'm not really the person to talk about that, because my remit sits within event delivery.
Okay.
Policy, not my thing.
Not for you. No problem at all. In terms of challenges, any big challenges this year in terms of setting up? Because it's a massive undertaking to put this on again. I know you've done it in previous years, but every year you step up the game. Any big challenges that you face this year in terms of pulling it together?
I think it's some of the unknowns. I mean, take, for example, again, these sound-reduced rooms. Working with a supplier who, they've got huge form in delivering for the events industry, but this was a new product for them, which meant it was a new product for us. And so part of the challenge was working out how on earth we were actually going to get this on site, delivered and built in the time. I mean, building a show of this scale in 2 days is really, really quite challenging. There's so much that has to go into that, and having the guys on site from 6 a.m. till 10 at night for 2 days. There were moments where I was thinking, is this going to get done? Are we going to be able to open the show on time? But, phenomenal team behind them. They made it happen.
Do you enjoy those challenges, those moments? Do you like sort of pushing the boundaries and you get a bit of excitement about that? Because I feel like as event organisers, event planners, you need to have that certain type of personality. You're almost comfortable with the uncomfortable, out your comfort zone a little bit. Do you enjoy that sort of side of things?
Yeah, I mean, it's... You take the good with the bad on this, yeah. Certainly. I think for the events industry in general, you have to have a certain mindset. You have to be able to roll with all the punches on this. But it's part of the nature of what we all do, essentially.
And has there been anything that stand out and you're like, oh, that has worked really well, almost better than you expected? Obviously we're hoping everything does gel together, but is there any sort of standout elements that you've gone, oh, actually that's, even better than I thought it was going to be? I
would say how strong and amazing our main stages look. You go from looking at 3D visuals of these things to, well, how is it actually going to come together? And walking into a space and feeling, my goodness, this is stunning. Like, we've met the standards of what we have been saying all along. We've said, we're going to be innovative, we're going to be creative, we're going to do something that is really, really pushing us to the limit of what can be done in the time. And my words, they're quite breathtaking.
And do you get time to enjoy any of the show as such, like from an event organizer perspective, or are you just always
I
on the
do.
radio? You know, obviously they're just in case. Have you had a chance to take it all in?
I have, yes. The joy of the work on this is that actually you do so much of it beforehand that once you get to being on site and once you get into the show open, by about midday on day one, it's business as usual. You're able to step back from it a little bit and say, okay, you know, there are maybe some little things that need ironing out along the way, but I could go and sit in a session. I could actually go and, you know, think, yep, I can actually experience this as a delegate because I know that the team who are here on site are delivering for us.
Fantastic. Well, Nick, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. To say congratulations on, the feedback's been great. The speakers who've come and talked to me and have just been saying the vibe's been great, the buzz has been great. Obviously, numbers are up this year, so congratulations on.
Thank you very much.
What will hopefully continue to be a fantastic show for the rest of the day.
Thanks, Simon.